Hi everyone, welcome to my channel. This is Hera's Life and Journey. If you are new here, I'm Hera and I make videos about my life, my hobbies, my journey, and anything I find interesting. If you've been here before, thank you so much. I really do appreciate you spending a little bit of your day with me. Today we are doing a journal with me. Have my journal right here. We're going to write an entry about what I've been thinking, about how I should have a second brain system, basically a way for me to write down everything in my head, organize it, refer back to it when needed, and just keep all of my ideas together so that it's easier to come back to go back to redo if I research something and then I want to make sure I can refer to that later, or if I write some ideas of what to do for a video or for just a personal project, being able to do that and keep all of that together so that it's easier for me to really just check in with what my brain had a day or two ago, or maybe longer, and not lose track, since I do have about 10,000 things in my head. There's just a lot going on in there. I don't fully know exactly what's going on in there sometimes, so this is hopefully a way for me to manage it. And we're just gonna journal together as I talk through the options that I'm thinking for what I would want to do, and then towards the end I'll just go over what I actually decided to do. Sorry, it was rambling there a bit, but we'll basically go through what I want to do with my second brain, how I'm currently trying to do that, and the options I have for 2026, and ultimately what I have decided to do. And I'm gonna write a little journal entry for that. And I do have my laptop here with my notes so that we can go ahead and get started. So we have our journal here. You've probably seen this quite a bit. And we'll just do an entry. All right, so I don't know what happened. I got a call and it stopped recording, so I already actually started doing the entry bit, but it's okay because I only did the first half, so we can still journal together with no more mishaps, hopefully. But since it cut out, I am using 2 fountain pens for today's entry. It's going to be the TWSBI Eco in bronze, in bronze, and it has Sailor Akamai, and I'm using a Pilot Kakuno fountain pen in fine, and it has Jock Urban Shogun. And for this headers and this lettering, I'm using the Dominant Industry Early Spring Part of Pearl series ink with my Tombow clear to do the writing. It was really cool. I was trying to explain like how I was doing it, where I was dipping it and then writing, but you know what? It's fine. It still looks really cool. So that's also what I use for this header background right here. So like I said, I want to have a second brain to keep all of my thoughts together. And currently the way I'm managing what's in my head and basically keeping it written and recorded somewhere is through my daily brain dumps. That is through my Hobonichi. Oh, don't know what happened there. That is through my Hobonichi notebook. Well, not notebook, my Hobonichi A5 Avec, and I use the daily pages to do my brain dump. The benefits of that is it's very easy to write down my thoughts. I already have a dedicated page for it. I can just write down whatever. I organize it by category, or try to organize it by category, and it's very easy to write down anything at any time I have that notebook. Technically, you can use any notebooks or any paper pads or anything you already have, so you don't need to buy anything new. You don't need to pay for anything that you well, you paid for the notebook, but I'm trying to say you don't have to pay for anything new. If you already have something you can use that. Some drawbacks of it include it's hard to keep track of the ideas, and I think that's the part I'm having a hard time with. I could write something down on that day or a few days ago, but I know I wrote it down. I just don't know when exactly and where to look in my Hobonichi. So it's a lot of, oh, I remember writing about, I don't know, peanut allergies, but I don't know where in the notebook or when exactly. I know it was 2 weeks or so ago, but then I'll have to look through each page, which can be time consuming and quite honestly just difficult when I'm just trying to quickly look for something. It can be limiting having only one page a day. I have the A5 size, so it's quite a lot of space. Sometimes you don't really need that much, but sometimes it can be limiting, which leads me to, if you want to go back to something and edit or like add stuff, remove stuff, that's hard with the brain dump I currently have, both space-wise, looking back into it, and also, you know, pen and fountain pen. If you have no more space, you have no more space, and it's very hard to make those changes. So those are the pros and cons of my current, I guess, second brain, or my attempt at a second brain through a brain dump. And so for 2026, what I'm looking for is a system for my second brain that would give me 3 things. That's going to be, I want it to be low maintenance, easily accessible, and manageable. So let me start writing that. So I want it to be low maintenance. I won't have time to set up something complicated, so easy to set up is going to be part of it. And I would put intuitive. Yeah, I'm saying that weird, because I prefer something that takes me less than 2 minutes to create a new note or organize it, or basically make sure I have space for that thought so that it's ready for, you know, my ideas, my notes, anything I think about, it's just there. I don't have to click 20 different things, or I don't have to do a whole format in the notebook or the paper to make sure I can use it and write down what I need to. The other is going to be easily accessible. So one drawback that I noticed with a notebook is sometimes it's hard to bring it around, so I can't look at what I wrote when I'm outside and I don't have my notebook. So I need to be able to look at whatever's in there, whatever was in my second brain or is in my second brain, whatever thoughts I had, anywhere and at any time. And then the last main thing I would need is for it to be manageable. Kind of related to low maintenance, but because there's so many things going on, so many things that pop into my mind, there'll be a lot of ideas, thoughts, notes, even random gibberish probably, that I need to be able to easily categorize and easily refer to. And easily locate. I need to be able to find what I wrote and then use whatever I wrote for what I need, because that's currently something I'm struggling with my current brain dump. So that's what I'm looking for my second brain in 2026. I did do a lot of research. I mean, yeah, it is research because I looked into all the other systems people are using. I watched YouTube videos. I looked at blogs, looked through Reddit. So it came down to 3 options, or 3 possible options for me of what I could use. So for the first one, let me just have our header. So this is what I was trying to show when I was doing this second brain part, where I just dip it and then write. And then you get really cool effects the longer this is dipped into the fountain pen ink. So the first option is going to be a commonplace notebook. So there you go. Not this ink. It's going to be commonplace. So a commonplace notebook is basically a notebook where you compile all of, you know, your thoughts, all sorts of information you may come across, ideas you may have, things you've watched, anything that you want to write down and keep. That is usually what you can put in a commonplace, and you can usually organize it using a symbol, a key, or some type of color coding system for the categories. Let's just say recipes, and then medical information type of thing, and you can put red or green for one, and that's how you're going to categorize everything. And I know a lot of videos that I saw use dot stickers to do that, and don't get me wrong, when I watched all those videos, they were so fun to watch. I love seeing other people's commonplace notebooks, so that's why I was like, oh, that could definitely be an option. The main thing though is I don't know if it'll be meeting all of these needs. So let's go ahead and just write down the pros and cons. So we'll go ahead and do pros right here. So the pros of a commonplace notebook, and if you want to learn more about commonplacing and what that means, definitely just look up some videos on YouTube. There's so many helpful ones that are honestly going to be much better than anything I could give you right now. So the pros of commonplacing is it's going to be easy to write down thoughts. It's going to be possible to categorize. Why am I saying so weird? Possible to categorize. And it's going to be handwritten. I'm going to write that as a pro because something about handwriting notes just makes it 10 times better. Now for some cons. Some cons of commonplacing is it'll be time consuming. So that's not going to be low maintenance. That's already one of the needs I have for my 2026 system knocked out right there, and not in a good way. Well, I mean, can you ever really be knocked out in a good way? But I'm trying to say it doesn't meet my need, one of my needs. You can't really edit the pages because usually you use book-bound systems, so like a Hobonichi notebook, for example, and usually you do try to use up the space before you write about the next thought or the next topic, so you can't just go back and add more notes to the same thing. Like you'll have to do it in another page, so that's not really, you know, beneficial. You can't change the order of things, so it's hard to do that, which is related to being able to edit. And you may choose something that is a bigger notebook so that you can fit more space, but it's not going to be portable. So those are some cons I thought of about commonplacing with a notebook, like a physical notebook. So that already removes low maintenance because it can be time consuming. It's time consuming writing your notes a lot, like handwriting things. Easily accessible. If I choose A5, and I honestly don't think I can ever do an A6 commonplace notebook, it's not going to be easily portable since I'm already struggling with my A5 avec. And manageable, easy to categorize, easily refer to and easily locate, that can definitely be done in a commonplace notebook. So that is the one need commonplace notebooks will meet for my 2026 second brain system. So that's 1 out of 3. So let's see. Let's grab this. We're gonna do a little score. So this meets 1 out of 3 needs. And then because of those issues that I noticed while researching commonplacing, I decided to look into digital options. So that is where I came across some really cool note-taking options, note-taking websites and systems that people are using. And I have to keep shaking this so that I have those shimmer. Oh, all right. All right, so the first digital option that definitely felt like it could be my answer or the solution to my whole dilemma with my second brain system is going to be Obsidian. Obsidian Notes. I don't know how long it's been available, but I only found out about this recently, so like a month or two ago while I was doing my research for this. And I found it through... So I actually found Obsidian through a YouTuber, Nim. So definitely check out their channel down below. I'll link it. They also design. Well, they kind of design their own Obsidian templates, but they also do Hobonichi journaling and planning. So that is how I found that channel, how I found their channel. So definitely check them out. So what is Obsidian? So Obsidian is a note-taking app. Let me just start writing this before I keep yapping. Yeah, so Obsidian is a note-taking app, and it uses Markdown as its format when you write your notes or you set it up. And it mainly uses a folder system to keep everything organized with tags. So think it's more of like Zettelkasten method, where you have an inbox and then you categorize, review those notes to new categories, so subfolders, or you link them to existing notes or existing folders. You may be feeling like that's familiar. That's basically what I do with my discbound system. I have one inbox and then you put it into my 6 categories, which are personal, YouTube, business, finance, school, health, kind of thing. So Obsidian basically lets you do that with their application, and you can use tags to link everything together. I'll insert a screenshot of how cool their little graphic looks like of all your notes being notes. Yeah, all of your notes and little nodes linked together, and how you can refer to them by looking at each category, or how you're going to end up deep diving into it. So that is what Obsidian is and what it will let you do. So I did a lot of watching videos to see if Obsidian could be an option for me. Again, like I mentioned, Nim is probably the main one. I went through the entire Obsidian playlist to see what the setup's gonna be like, how to manage it and everything. If you're new to it, what you need to know, and those kinds of things. So the pros of Obsidian: it is going to be free locally. So you need to pay to have cloud access. Just prefacing it with that, because that's going to be a con later. But technically it is free. You can download it to your computer, and it will live there, and you can access your notes. And that way it does have the benefits of true privacy, right? There's no way for other people to look at what's in your computer unless you give them your computer. It has flexible structures and formats. So you can make it what you need it to be. If you just need a simple notes, that's fine. If you need some kind of formatting, it does have that option. Again, Markdown is very flexible in how you can format your notes and what you can add. And one of the things that caught my eye is it's distraction free. Because it's locally in your computer, you technically don't need the internet. You will only have your notes. It's truly just for your notes and your note-taking system, and making sure you have access to, your data when it comes to what was in your brain. So those are pros. So those are the pros, and then the cons. Like I said, cloud access needs a paid version. So for me to meet my second need for my 2026 system to be easily accessible anywhere at any time, I would have to pay for the cloud access so that I could look at the same notes in my computer, in my phone, or in my laptop. So that is the first con. And then we have a high learning curve. Like I said, it's very flexible, very customizable, but it's a lot to learn if you haven't done it before. And it will take time, because as soon as I considered it, as soon as I decided, okay, this might be an option for 2026, let me go ahead and set up a sample notes and system to organize everything and see if it's gonna work. I watched a lot of videos. It just wasn't intuitive to me. It was a lot of work, and it was taking me more than an hour to set up things, and it's not even the way I wanted to. And at that point, I just scrapped it. I was like, I'm not doing this. It's too much to learn. It's too much to maintain. 2026 is only going to get busier. I am not going to have time to deal with this. I love how it looks like. I love the idea of it. I love Elenim's videos. I just personally can't handle it. It was just not easy for me. Well, okay, I shouldn't say easy. It is technically easy if you invest the time and the effort and you learn how to use it. It just wasn't, for me, that was just too much. And I could be putting in that time actually planning stuff or researching stuff instead of trying to set it up and make it look pretty or make it look like the way I want it to be organized and stuff like that. So it was just too much. So there was that high learning curve and time consuming. Again, if you're more familiar with it, this might not be the case for you. It just was for me. Types of notes and media can be limited. I believe you can add pictures. I don't know if you can add videos. I don't know if you can add web clipping. I think you have to have extensions for those. And those are a whole other thing to learn. So straight up just with the app itself, it can be limited. So yeah. Adding to that cloud access thing, it's not portable unless you pay for it. You pay for upgrade. So that is so that's the pros and the cons for Obsidian notes. So looking through what we want for our 2026 system, low maintenance, not really. It's not easy to set up. It may be intuitive after you've set it up, so we'll do 0.5 for that, because kind of but not really. We have easily accessible, kind of but not really, and pay for it. So we'll do 0.5 for that as well. So that's one. Manageable, easy to categorize, easy to refer to, and easy to locate. I would give that a whole point, because the whole tag system really can work well, and if you use folders and subfolders more so. So we're going to give that one a full point. So it's going to be a 2 out of 3 for Obsidian notes. Whoa. It's going to be a 2 out of 3. And then, of course, our last option. If I just... I should have just done all of the headers at once, but I wasn't sure where exactly it was going to be, so... Oh well. Okay, last one. So the last option that I found after doing my research is going to be Notion. Yeah, Notion. If you're not familiar with Notion, don't know what Notion is, it's another productivity note-taking software. It's like a little website. You can design your own website and put anything and everything you can think of there, quite honestly. It's very customizable. And you can put anything you want, make it any way you want. And it is also a lot. I know I said Obsidian's a lot. Notion is also a lot. The difference is Notion has been around quite a bit longer, and there's so many YouTubers and so many resources to kind of go over how to format things, how to design things, how to add, what to add. And also there's a lot of templates for free and for sale. So yes, it's a high learning curve as well, but if you're willing to pay a few dollars, depending on the format you want, you can just copy paste and do what you need to. So that's what Notion is, and that is our third option. I don't think I saw any templates for Obsidian that you can just purchase and copy paste. I think because of the way it's structured, where it's locally based and the way it's organized is unique to you. So that's why, but Notion has a lot of things for sale and for free, freebies as well. So we're gonna go with Notion pros first. Oh, let's just put website application here. Pros. Oh, why does that look so funny? My thumb hurts for some reason too. Okay. Pros of Notion. It's also free. I think you can pay for certain access, I think AI and stuff like that, but for you to access it anywhere, any website, it's free. So unlike Obsidian, where you have to pay for the cloud version, you don't have to do that with Notion, because you can access the website anywhere and make your changes. So it's also very customizable. Structure and formats. Like I said, you can make it anything and whatever you can think of. Giving it the sky is the limit, and it can handle almost any type of data, I'm pretty sure. There's lots of tutorials or templates for free or for sale. Multiple ways to categorize things. So you can use a folder, you can use tags, you can use notes, resources, linking, all of those things. So there's a lot of ways you can organize everything. And it's easy to access anywhere and anytime. I just realized, is my ink too light? Oh well, it's okay. Hopefully it'll be okay. So those are the pros. Now to the cons. It's also a high learning curve. It's a little more, I will say, intuitive than Obsidian notes, but it's also a high learning curve if you're making your template or your template from scratch. If you're copy pasting, which is quite honestly what I did, I got a template, bought a template off of Etsy and just made it work for me. It was so easy. I was done changing the categories, setting up the initial notes and tags system and folder system after like 30 minutes. And I've been using it since, so I just make changes along the way. It's very easy. But if you are creating from scratch, it is going to be a high learning curve. But there's a lot of videos that can help. I will put this here as a con as well. It's time consuming to set up initially. I am going to put that as a con because if you're not buying a template, then it's still time consuming. So those are the cons. We're going to do our score. So let's see, low maintenance, easy to set up, intuitive. Easy to set up if you're buying a template. So we're going to do 0.5 for that one. Easily accessible, yeah. Anywhere, anytime, any device, really. So that's going to be 1 point. Manageable, easy to categorize, easily to refer to, easy to locate. Very easy with how you can organize things and choose, especially if you are getting it off of a template with already an existing system, then it's very easy to just apply to what you need. So this is going to be 1 point, 1 point, 2 point, and 0.5. So this is going to be 2.5 out of 3 for our needs. So our system, spoiler alert, is going to be Notion. And I will see if I can include some clips here or screenshots of how my system looks like. But essentially, I got a template over at Etsy. I honestly look through some YouTube videos as well, see if any of the creators have freebies, try and see which ones I like. But I decided to go with the Etsy, the Etsy store I found. I'll link the template down below. And I luckily had a coupon, so I was able to bring down the price a bit more, and I just use this template for my second brain, and honestly I really like it. I don't know which screenshots I'm gonna show, but let's just say, for example, for next month Vlogmas, right? I have to come up with ideas, plan how I'm going to film things. If I'm posting a video every day, it's a lot, and I have to prepare for those. So brainstorming ideas for those, researching, I'll insert a clip of how I plan for this videos and the notes that I took, so that you can kind of see how it looks like. But this specific template I'm using is pretty complicated because I needed it to be this way. I needed the whole calendar, reminder, and time tracker system, since I'm not just using it for content. I'm using this, literally my second brain. Anything I can think of in my life is there. So it's pretty exciting. I've been using it every day. I may start writing something in my brain dump, but then I review it and then move it to my second brain. Because sometimes it's easier to think with handwritten notes, brain dumping, but it's hard to go back to and edit. So that's when I transfer it to my Notion, and it's really good. So 2026 second brain. All right. So fun. Thank you so much for tuning in. I hope you enjoyed this journal with me, and I hope you like this little note-taking journal, pros, cons, thought process I have, and let me know what you think. If you are thinking of having a little way to keep all your thoughts together, second brain, what you like about common placing, if you have heard of it, if you don't know what it is, what you think about Obsidian, Notion, and anything like that. But thank you so much for tuning in. I really do appreciate you spending a little bit of your time with me. I hope you have an amazing day, and please make sure to leave a like, comment, and subscribe. Bye!